So I know in my last video I said my next project will be a Christmas wreath, but I haven't really gotten any idea for a Christmas wreath that I would get excited for. So instead, I am making a macrame shelf that a friend of mine has asked for. In terms of the cords for this project, I'm going with the classic natural single twist cord. We want to make it a little bit fluffy at the ends, so I need the single twist for that fluff. And then I need 2 pieces of wood. One is this one that's going to serve as the dowel. This is going to be about 80 centimeters long. And then I've got this other piece, which obviously is going to make the shelf itself. You can see it is pretty thick, and I've left this one edge kind of unfinished, you could say, so that it has that really natural look. And you can also see there is these holes on each side. So there is 4, 2 on each side. That's so that we can then later connect it to the top piece, that driftwood piece that I showed you earlier. And I think that's everything I need, so let's get started. And those of you that have seen a few of my videos already know that for all of the measurements and lengths, you just need to head down to the description of the video. I also put a few links there of the cords I'm using, the tools, etc., so that I make it maybe a little bit easier for you guys to find all of your supplies. So I've prepped my cords for this very first section, and I added them onto the piece of driftwood. Now, those of you that know me, again, you know that I like to save cord whenever possible. So in this case, because the pattern that I will be making are berry knots in this sort of like an arrow shape, that means that these cords on the sides will be making a lot of fewer knots than the ones in the middle. And so that means that these cords can also be a lot shorter than the ones in the middle. So when you look at the description where I'm posting the lengths, you will notice that the 2 cords in the middle, they are equal, and they're also hanging equally, meaning this is the middle of that cord, but then the cords get shorter as it gets to the outside. And now it's time to make some berry knots. So berry knots are actually quite simple. They are just 3 square knots that are then pulled together. But in order to be able to do the wrap, you always need to make sure that here at the top, you have a little bit of space. So just keep that in mind in the beginning when you're starting them. And so then when you're done with the 3 square knots, you take the ends of these filler cords and you're going to pull them through either this gap in the middle or one in each of these gaps right here. But I usually do it just through the middle, and you pull them all the way, pulling the square knots onto each other, which then creates this beautiful berry knot. And just to secure it in place, you make one more square knot right underneath it. And as you're tightening that square knot, pull again on the 2 filler cords, which will make sure that that berry knot is nice and tight. The other side of that square knot. And so like this, we make this entire row of berry knots. When I'm done with my first row, I'll continue in the next row, but alternating the cords. So I'm always, and every other row, I'm always going to be taking out the 2 cords on the side and working on the next 4 to create my next berry knot. And then again, take out these 2 and so on until I get to the last one here in the middle. So the berry knots are done, and now my next step will be to create 2 rows of double half hitches on the sides here. And again, many of you have probably seen my trick for doing the double half hitch really fast. If you haven't seen it, check it out here, but I will do only like a quick version of this. I won't be doing a full tutorial on that trick now, so let me take you closer. I'm going to start on this side first. This is eventually going to become my travel cord, but first I'm making all these loops from all the cords I want to use on my hand. I would actually do like the entire section, but just for the purposes of showing you. Then I pull the travel cord through that hole, and then one by one, I tighten all of these cords. And I hope that you can see how this is a lot faster than doing the double half hitches like that, just one by one. So yeah, that's the trick. So our first section is done. Now for the second one, we will be adding 2 cords here and 2 cords here, and we will be making some spiral knots. And just like with these berry knots, there is also space for saving some cords with the spiral knot as well. Basically, the spiral knot is just 1/2 of a square knot repeated over and over. So these 2 middle cords, the filler cords, they're not making any knots. They're just hanging there, and that's it. So they can be very short. Basically, they only need to be as long as you want the final spiral knot to be. So this is, I want the spiral knot to go to here, and then down here have maybe like an additional, a little bit of a fringe. So that's it. That's as long as I need to make the middle cords, and then the entire length, the long cords are only the ones on the sides. So let's make that spiral knot. So I'm going to start the spiral knot with this side, so with the left side, and make the first half of a square knot, tighten it up, and then we just repeat the same thing. So again, starting with the left side, and as soon as we tighten, you can already see the spiral creating. And that's just how we continue. And as soon as it turns around, you can just help it a little bit to turn it around. And again, taking the left cord to start the spiral knot. And so you will just continue for the entire desired length. So on this side, it's always the left cord that's starting, but on this side, it will always be the right cord that is starting that spiral knot. And that is because we want to make sure that these 2 spirals are creating mirror images of each other. So this one, both of them are actually spiraling inwards. Once you get both the sides to the length where you want to connect them, That's where we're going to stop for now. We will later connect them with a gathering knot, but for now we can just leave them be. We will finish it up later. I've just taken a headband and put them together just to have an idea where exactly do they connect, but later we will do that properly. Now for the next section, I'm taking one piece of cord and I'll be attaching it with the lark's head knot here and then also here. And I'll show you how exactly I'm going to do that. So on this side, pretty easy, just a regular lark's head knot. However, again, this cord on the left is much shorter than this cord on the right, because the cord on the right, we will have to make another lark's head knot with it right here. And so here, we first take the cord over the piece of driftwood, then we tighten it only as much as we want, you know, this length here. So more or less like this. And then going back to the top, then the cord needs to go on this side over that cord in the middle, and then from the back it's going underneath this piece of the cord at the front, and you pull it tight and you've got yourself another lark's head knot. And so at the end, you make sure that that loop has the right tension and that the two cords on the sides are more or less the same length at the end. So what I want to do then with this weird hanging cord here is add lots and lots of other cords onto it. But first, I will actually do the next section next to it just so that I see where it finishes. And then because at the bottom there will be that shelf, so I first want to see where does that shelf kind of end up being lengthwise, and only then I will know, okay, how long do I want these hanging cords to be, so that's when I will add them. And so for that other section, I'll be adding 5 cords on each side here and here. And I'm starting here on the left side, and we are going to do that diamond pattern. And since these two are going to become our travel cords and there is going to be lots of double half hitches and these cords are really long, I'm right from the beginning using my trick for doing the double half hitch in a really fast way. If you are not sure what I'm doing right now and it looks very confusing, you should probably go check out that video where I show a slow version and kind of a step-by-step of how to do this. And then I do the same thing for the other side. So the other 4 cords. Now for that middle section, what I would like to do is sort of have the cords in the middle overlap each other like that, so that it creates that little, what do you call it? Like little bars, or I don't know. Just this sort of a pattern. And then of course there is going to be another row of double half hitches down here. So here I'm going to start with these 2 cords. And now I'll also add these 2, making sure that this is in here. Oh wait, I also have to pull this up above. Okay, now I think I can add these 2. That looks good. And now we just finished the other side. And I'm also going to add this travel cord to that section so that we connect the 2 sides together. Okay, I think that that looks pretty good. So now I just repeat the exact same thing, starting with these 2 filler cords and adding more diamonds until I reach a certain length where I can then connect it at the middle. So I have done 7 of these diamonds on each side. Obviously, I've completed the other side as well. And just down here, I'm holding it down with some hair accessory. I'll show you in a minute how to connect the 2 sides. Just a couple things I always mention with these. One, make sure that at the very top, especially, you're making this side a lot tighter than this side. That then helps when you're connecting the two in the middle to make sure that there is no, not too much extra cord that kind of bumps out in those corners. And then the second thing is make sure that these two are mirror images of each other, meaning the crossings, for example, are always going inwards. Or the cords that are going inwards are on top. And also the grid inside of those diamonds, I made sure that I mirror the cords so it looks like a mirror image of each other. So now let me show you the bottom connection of these two. So down here, this is the 7th diamond, and once I completed it, you can see that I added the 4 double half hitches on each side. And then when we get down here, we choose one of these 2 cords, doesn't matter which one, to be our travel cord, and we add a double half hitch from the other cord. And down here, it is a little bit tricky because you need to make sure that it really holds tight. So you may need to hold the first one really tight, and then carefully you add the second one. And then we will just add 2 rows of double half hitches, leaving 2 cords to the side. And then these ones become travel cords. I'll start on this side, add this row here, then this side, this one, and then again underneath, leaving these 2 cords and making a 3rd row. And there you go. We've got the nice kind of arrow shape into it here. And now that this big section is done, I've remeasured again with the shelf as well, and I know how long I want these cords to be. So I'm going to start adding those on this one cord here with the regular lark's head knot. Once you have space at the top for just one more cord, we're actually going to do it in the reverse lark's head knot so that you cannot see this cord going over. It's in the back. And then what we will do, because we need a way to secure this so that this isn't running short, we're going to make 2 double half hitches with that new cord that we have just added with that last one. So just these 2, and that's it. We can sort of hide the rest in the back like that, and that will make sure that this isn't going anywhere. And we of course do the same thing on the other side right there. Now we can reorder it all as it should be. So this goes in the back like this, and then this braid should be in the middle here. And now we can finish it up because we know that this is a good length, or I think it's a good length. So I will do the gathering knot here to tie these 2 ends together. To make the gathering knot, I'm taking a piece of cord, leaving a short end on one hand, sticking it to the back, and then down here, I make a loop like so, and then I start wrapping the rest of the cord around all the other cords, making sure that it is nice and tight. And I make maybe 4, 5, 4 I think is enough, 4 loops. And then I pull the rest of that cord through this loop that we left there. And then I pull at the top on this cord, which then pulls this loop through together with the remaining cord. And then we can trim this top off, and that's it. I'm almost there. There's only a few more spiral knots that I will need to make. So I'll be adding 4 more of these spirals, 2 on each end. And that's then how we're going to attach the shelf at the bottom. And I've already shown you the spiral knot, so I won't be going in too much detail on that one. Almost there. I've got my 4 spiral cords ready. Well, this one still needs a little bit of work, but I'm getting there. And so now will be the time to add the shelf, which, as I was showing you before, has these holes. That's where these cords are going to go through the holes. Always the ones on the inside are going to go to the front of the shelf, and then the ones on the outside are going through the holes in the back. And then I think it will be quite a balancing act just to make sure that all 4 sides are in the same place, are all leveled, so that the shelf is then leveled as well. And then what I will do is, once the cords are through, I will make like a regular overhand knot out of all these 4 cords, maybe even 2, just to make sure that the cords aren't, pulling out, that it's stopping them on the bottom of the shelf. And then I will cut it, maybe leave like this much of the cords and brush it out to have some nice fringe at the bottom. Talking about the fringe, I'll then just make sure that this fringe down here is all in line and in the right shape, and then I think that's it. We will be done then. have it, the macrame shelf is done. This was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. I thought I will spend a lot more time trying to balance it out, but it wasn't too bad. You may have seen in those shots that I was using like a piece of yarn to hold it up on each side to help me make sure that it is in balance before I tie the knots at the bottom. And that worked out really well, I think. Overall, I think I really like it. Again, another great combination of the boho style of macrame with the pieces of driftwood and also this, front face of the shelf that's a little bit more natural. I think that just makes a great combination. I also think that if you don't want to make it into a shelf, you could also just leave this piece in. That would make a really nice wall hanging, so it can go either way as well. And one last thing, just be careful when you're hanging it on the wall because it is quite heavy. So make sure that you have long enough screws in the wall to hang it up and that you're not putting, too much weight on the shelf, even though I think it is pretty stable. So like a few books or a candle or something like that, that's gonna, like, obviously not a burning candle. I don't know how that would work with the cords, but just for decoration purposes, I think that could look really nice. So I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you did, and I'll see you in the next one in the new year. Bye everyone.